Welcome to From the Den podcast, providing Bears and NFL fans alike with compelling news, discussion, and debate. I'm your co-host Benjamin, joined alongside my dear friend and co-host Oren.
Hey Benjamin, let's get right into it. As always, kickoff starts now.
Welcome to the second episode of From the Den podcast, where we are going to be doing a mock draft featuring 10 of our very own friends.
This mock draft works just like a normal first-round NFL draft, except each person is assigned 2 or 3 NFL teams. There's trading allowed, and it's going to be a good draft.
Without further ado, let's get right into it.
For the first pick for the From the Den draft is Joe Burrow for the Bengals. They pick Joe Burrow because he is a very good QB. He had a very good season with LSU. He led them to a championship, and Andy Dalton is getting old, so they need a new quarterback. And Joe Burrow was the best quarterback last season. And I'm done.
All right, with the second overall pick in the From the Den NFL mock draft, the Washington Redskins select Chase Young, defensive end from Ohio State. I think this is a pretty obvious pick here. Chase Young might be the best overall talent in the draft. And the Redskins kind of just need that guy on their team who can do everything. So I think this is a pick that is going to happen unless somebody offers them like 1 million draft picks in future drafts.
With the third overall pick in the From the Den draft, the Detroit Lions select Jeff Okudah, cornerback out of Ohio State. This seems to be the clear pick. Most mock drafts have it this way. The Lions have a huge need at corner due to losing Darius Slade of the Eagles. And Jeff Okudah is one of the most talented players in the draft. And just a great coverage guy, good tackler, just overall a great pick.
In the fourth pick in the Den mock draft for 2020, the Jaguars select from the Giants Tua Tagovailoa. He is a solid QB, a very solid QB that the Jaguars need because they cannot rely on Gardner Minshew, and Tua has proven in college that he can play in big games and he can really step up when they need.
With the fifth pick in the From the Den NFL mock draft, the Dolphins select CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver from Oklahoma. I think that with a lot of the top quarterbacks taken, that CeeDee Lamb's really going to help out the receiving core and maybe help on the other side of the football.
There has been a trade. The Chargers have traded their first-round pick to the Falcons for their first-round pick as well as a second-round pick.
And the Falcons, with the 6th pick, select Derek Brown. Derek Brown is known as a strong run stopper, but also in his last year of college, he had 11.5 sacks. One of the biggest needs for the Falcons is interior defensive line, and Brown immediately fixes that hole for them. He is strong and explosive, and he is one of the top prospects in this draft. And with the 7th pick, the Carolina Panthers select Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons is a freak of nature. He ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. In college, he started off as a safety, and then in 2019, he moved to linebacker and won the Dick Butkus Award, which is for the best linebacker in the college. He can play almost any position, but mostly plays inside linebacker. And Luke Kuechly just retired, so the Panthers need an inside linebacker, and Isaiah Simmons is just the guy to replace Kuechly.
With the 8th overall pick in the From the Den mock draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Tristan Wirfs, a defensive tackle out of Iowa. While the Arizona Cardinals offense improved significantly from 2017 to 2018, the one main piece that they still need is their offensive line. So adding an offensive tackle like Tristan Wirfs, who's really dynamic and can fill in great in their offense, will be the extra piece that they needed to elevate their offense, especially with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins.
With the 9th pick in the From the Den mock draft, the New York Giants select Mekhi Becton out of Louisville. Is there any question about this? It's a very simple idea that the Giants need depth. The Giants don't need any of the top players, so they trade back with the Jaguars with pick 4, a 3rd-round pick and a 4th-round pick for the Jaguars picks 9 and 20. And very simply, the Giants need offensive linemen. They get offensive linemen. Done deal.
And with the 10th pick, the Cleveland Browns select Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle from Georgia. The Browns, even though they just signed Jack Conklin, still have a need for an offensive tackle to protect Baker Mayfield and possibly improve their run game. The NFL gave Thomas a 6.49 prospect grade, which is actually a really good grade, and he can be a great help to the team.
With the 11th pick in the From the Den mock draft, the New York Jets select Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama. When you think about it, the Jets really need weapons for Sam Darnold. While every other team with second-year quarterbacks or third-year quarterbacks is tooling up and getting great receivers, the Jets have been in the dust without any help for their young QB. And with this pick, they can really fix up all of their, or some of their holes, not all of them, but they can still up their abilities to move forward and potentially take the AFC East after Tom Brady leaves for Tampa.
With the 12th pick in the mock draft, the Raiders will choose a cornerback, AJ Terrell. So the Raiders have last season, one of their biggest problems was passing yardage, and right now with their new defensive coordinator, Paul Gunther, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's a 4-3 zone, and AJ Terrell is known to make very good reads and have lots of quickness and explosiveness that would work really well in that defense.
With the 13th overall pick in the From the Den mock draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jedrick Wills, offensive tackle out of Alabama. The 49ers have some holes in their offensive line. Joe Staley is now 35 and is on the tail end of his career. Jedrick Wills runs right tackle for Alabama, so he'll fit right in with Joe Staley on the left side, and hopefully he'll be able to fill that spot once Joe Staley retires.
With the 14th pick from the Den mock draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Josh Jones, Houston offensive tackle. He's a big guy, and especially after they signed Tom Brady to a big deal, they really need this to protect Tom Brady, and especially he needs time to find his receivers. He has great receivers with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and this will really improve their offense.
With the 15th pick in the From the Den mock draft, the Denver Broncos select Henry Ruggs III, wide receiver out of Alabama. In 2019, he had 40 receptions, 746 yards, 7 touchdowns, and an 18.6 average. Clearly, Henry Ruggs is a game changer who can be put into this Broncos offense that's really needing of wide receivers now, really depleted, and hopefully can instantly impact this offense.
With the 16th pick in the From the Den mock draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Austin Jackson from USC. He is a left tackle that we believe that we can make – the Chargers believe that they can make sure that he's worked out well and becomes a great fit for our offensive line that already needs help, and he can really improve just everything from keeping the pocket open and just making sure that the QB has good people around him to keep him safe.
With the 17th pick in the From the Den mock draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Kalavon Chasen, edge rusher from LSU. He's very agile, is very quick off the line, and he wore the honorary number 18 for LSU last year in their national championship season. sign of great leadership, which some of the Dallas Cowboys could use on their defense. And they just lost Robert Quinn in free agency, and so they would need somebody opposite of their star rusher, DeMarcus Lawrence, and K'Lavon Chasen can fit that role.
With the 18th pick from the Den NFL mock draft, the Dolphins are going to take Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan. So I really think to complement the passing game that the Dolphins are going to need a strong offensive line to help protect Fitzpatrick a little bit. And if the line can give Fitzpatrick a lot of time in the pocket, then he can just keep hitting any wide receiver he wants.
With the 19th pick in the Den mock draft, the Raiders will select T. Higgins. Right now, the Raiders are in desperate need of a good wide receiver. Right now, their best is Nelson Aguilar, which is not that good. But also, T. Higgins is known to be good with long throws because he takes such deep strides, and that would help their wide receiver corps because Nelson Aguilar is a smooth, clean route runner who is really good with short explosive routes, so it gives them more depth.
There has been a trade. The New York Giants are trading down from their pick 20 to pick 21.
And with pick 20, the Philadelphia Eagles select Justin Jefferson, wide receiver out of LSU. With Joe Burrow, he had 111 receptions and 18 touchdowns. The Eagles hope he'll be able to replace Nelson Aguilar, who left to go to the Raiders. The Eagles are in a win-now state because they just upgraded their defense and especially their cornerback with Darius Slay, and their offense can't bear another season with having all of their wide receivers injured. They need a receiver who's consistent and a receiver who can really, really, really help them out, and this is a win-now draft pick.
The Giants, with the 21st pick in the From the Den mock draft, will draft C.J. Henderson, cornerback, Florida. The Giants need to upgrade their defense, and after being able to trade back twice to bolster other parts of their team, they are able to gain the second best cornerback in this draft class. For simply moving back a pick, they gain a fourth rounder while still drafting the player they want, which is an incredible deal for the Giants.
With the 22nd pick in the From the Den mock draft, my Minnesota Vikings select Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle from South Carolina. Javon Kinlaw's a great guy, very aggressive. So we're calling him the second best defensive tackle behind Derek Brown. And the Vikings lost Linval Joseph in free agency. Replace him with Michael Pierce. However, need a lot of help with the other side, as proven last year. Shamar Stephen, the Vikings kind of went around between Shamar Stephen, Jalen Holmes, and Armon Watts, and none of them really worked. And so Javon Kinlaw is a guy that can fit that spot and make the defensive line unstoppable with Danielle Hunter on the edge.
With the 23rd overall pick in the From the Den mock draft, the New England Patriots select Justin Herbert, quarterback out of Oregon. In 2019, Justin Herbert had 3,471 yards, 32 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. Clearly, the Patriots' biggest need in this offseason was to get a better quarterback after their devastating loss of Tom Brady. So Justin Herbert seemed like the obvious choice to rebuild their offense.
With the 24th overall pick, the New Orleans Saints select Patrick Queen, linebacker out of LSU. Although he is a little undersized, he brings great energy, and he is a three-down player. The Saints don't really need much improvement on their really high-powered offense, but their defense lacks a little energy and skill. Therefore, Patrick Queen is the perfect player, and he will hopefully improve this defense greatly.
With the 25th pick in the From the Den mock draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Trevon Diggs, cornerback from Alabama, and yes, the brother of former Viking Stephon Diggs. Trevon Diggs is a big physical guy, can guard at all three levels of the field, and the Vikings just lost the top three their top three corners to free agency, and therefore Trevon Diggs is a great guy to fill in the spots left by Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, and Mackenzie Alexander.
With the 26th pick in the From the Den mock NFL draft, the Dolphins are going to take Josh Uche, linebacker out of Michigan. So while he really doesn't have the great instincts that some other linebackers do, his explosiveness is incredible, and he can maybe shadow for a few years until he can develop some of his instincts and until he can read blocks better. And when he can read plays better, he's going to be just a great overall player.
With the 27th overall pick in the From the Den mock draft, the Seattle Seahawks select AJ Epinesa, defensive end from Iowa. He's a big, scary dude, 6'6", 280 pounds. Had really good year last year, racked up 11.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. Seattle defense just isn't as good as it was in the Legion of Boom days, and this pick can hopefully help them get back to the status that their defense used to have.
For the 28th pick for the From the Den mock draft, the Ravens select Kenneth Murray. They're because he is probably going to upgrade their defense, because the Ravens defense right now is not that good, because everyone or almost everyone is either old or going to retire very soon. So they want a young player on their team that's good and last long, and probably going to upgrade their defense, and that's going to be Kenneth Murray.
For the 29th pick of the From the Den mock draft, the Tennessee Titans select Isaiah Wilson, offensive tackle from Georgia. He played fantastically along with Andrew Thomas at Georgia, and really improving Seattle's offensive line will help their already star running back improve it even further and give Tennessee the chance to really further improve their offense.
30th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers will select Denzel Mims from Baylor. He's a great wide receiver. He's really tall. He's very versatile. He ran a 4.3 40-yarder, and the Packers really need a speedy guy who can be a really big deep threat to complement Devontae Adams and be another target for Aaron Rodgers. It will really boost their offense.
With the 31st pick in the From the Den mock draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver out of Arizona State. I mean, he's a really fast guy. Kind of reminds me of Henry Ruggs with his value as a returner. And, I mean, just a good route runner, good hands. Just an elusive guy. Good pickup for the 49ers because they lost Emmanuel Sanders to New Orleans. So, yeah, it's just a good pickup overall.
With the 32nd pick in the From the Den mock draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Yetur Gross-Matos. The Chiefs don't have really any large hole after winning the Super Bowl. They only lost 2 starters, so they're just going to bolster their defense because their offense is very strong. And with this pick, they get a very good defensive lineman who can serve as possibly a substitution for third downs for other times. But in any case, they get a good player with a late pick. They just take the best player available.
If you enjoyed this episode of From the Den, please remember to subscribe, comment, and like this video.
Or, if you're a Packers fan, remember to dislike and leave a nasty comment. Click the links on the screen to access additional content.